Halloween, the holiday celebrating all things spooky. And it's also allegedly the only appropriate time that you can listen to the Monster Mash. Personally, I'm not into Halloween as much as the next guy. I get scared really easily, and I'm too old to be eating myself into a Halloween candy coma. But I still felt as though I needed to channel the Halloween spirit and give you all a challenge run of a spooky racing game. And the only game that fits the bill perfectly is none other than Nightmare Kart. The racing game created by Botster that's inspired by PlayStation 1 era aesthetics and one particular Soulsborne game. Months ago on Blue Sky, I was tagged in a post that asked Botster who had the worst handling in the game, and the reply was short and simple: Da Hog. It's also the biggest and heaviest cart, or mount in this case. So let's send off the Halloween season in style and see if you can beat Nightmare Kart only using the Hog. For this challenge, I'm going to try and complete every race in the campaign mode. While there is a cheat code to unlock everything, it's only active in free play, so I had to progress through the campaign and unlock the Hog in the 6th level. And there we find it's actually called the Giant Boar, but I'm gonna stick with calling it a Hog. A nice thing about Nightmare Kart is that it gives you the option to replay story missions mid-playthrough, so when the Feral Hog has been released, we can go back and start from the beginning. Naturally, with the campaign mode, there's a story to go along with it, so we'll be following along with that for some extra Halloween fun. It begins with 3 foul beasts asking my name, and then puts us through some small character customization preferences. Once that's finished, we're thrust in the tutorial mode. Aside from some traditional racing elements, this game has a unique combat system where you can attack other racers or NPCs. Killing them will give you blood droplets that increases your speed. You also have a boost that can be used with Aether Vials, which can be obtained by performing in-air tricks or long drifts. After suffering through that terrible nightmare of being forced to learn how to play the game, we're awoken by Herman and Annette. Herman says we have to go out and win a few races on our Hog, and it'll all be over soon. Yeah, for him maybe.
Pocket Dream Circuit.
Pocket Dream Circuit.
Pocket Dream Circuit is real easy. Hit the ramps and skeletons around you, and you're good. Just be mindful when attacking others.
Turn around, my friend.
Now we head to the city of Mirodia to find out more about why we're here and riding such a beautiful creature. An outsider in Mirodia informs us that the hunt is on tonight, and Mirodia Expressway takes us all throughout the fair city. And in this city, my big, fat, gracious hog kept getting stuck on things.
I'm trying to move. I can't move.
And if I wasn't getting stuck, I was hitting walls and being struck by the swords of revealing light. After being pig roasted 2 times in a row, I escaped Mirodia Expressway through the sewers and engaged in the first battle game called Team Bloodbath. All you have to do is get 10 kills on your team to win. This was quick and easy, though I hardly got any of the kills myself, but luckily that doesn't matter. Rising from the murky sewers, we have a boss battle with Father Gregory, no relation. We chase him throughout the Mirolodian streets and can inflict damage while doing so. The chase ends with a sweet reference to the iconic Akira bike slide, and the fight with Daddy Gregory continues in a closed-off arena. The fight isn't too bad, and there's tons of items around to keep you locked and loaded. When Greg reaches a third of his health, he transforms into a beast, and from there you can just circle around him and chip his health away until he's food for the birds. Greg slaughtered by our hog hands reveal a new path to an old clock tower, but to get there, I need to trespass through the Forbidden Forest. The Forbidden Forest wasn't as scary as it seemed, but every time I was in the lead, I was struck with the Swords of Revealing Light attack, and it can be so punishing.
The swords!
I failed on my first try, and on my second, I had everything in the bag on the final lap. I wanted to end the race quickly, and told myself I could cut a corner right after exiting the building, where you have to climb through with these white block jumps. And, well, let's just say that it did not go according to plan.
No! There's a gate there! There was a gate there! I did not see the gate!
On my third attempt, I made it to the final lap and commanded a huge lead. The swords came around once again to keep me in check, but that's 3 turns, which means they should go away. However, this game was playing by the anime rules and not the TCG rules, though that wouldn't stop me from finally escaping the forest. Well, not quite yet. The 6th level is another battle, where it's 3 demons versus little ol' me. Here, I have to casually grab this large eyeball and bring it to my side for a point. The AI is a bit more aggressive in this battle, or maybe it appears that way since I don't have any teammates this time. But you can win simply by gaining a 1-point lead and just playing keep away until the timer runs out, unless you die and have to spend the remainder of the time catching up. Now that's over with, I'm out of the forest and reach the clock tower, where I have to have a race against Nightmare Kart's
gorgeous wife.
The Great Clock Tower is one of the spookiest races thus far. You have to race against these creepy dolls, whom of which you can destroy on the track and listen to their cries of despair. Ooh, we got little spooky dolls. They also pack a wallop. And I'm not sure if it was just the game doing its normal thing, or if it was the fact that I was on a huge targetable hog and subject to more attacks. Halfway through the race, the
gorgeous wife
tells us that the answers we seek will drive us mad, like it did to old Saint Nicholas. And then she says die now, which was a canon event for me.
The swords are renewing life.
I almost caught back up and won after reviving, but the swords did their thing once again right before the end.
I'm almost there, please.
On my second try, I hit first place within 30 seconds of the first lap, and aside from getting hit with the swords once, I raced my way out of the Great Clock Tower of Horrors with no other issues. Knowing now that Nicholas may have the answers I've been seeking, I made a U-turn back to Mirodia to find him, only to be caught up in another battle in the Angel Arena, but this time with a friendly Raven. The Raven gives me a special weapon to use in battle, and after our team easily took down 10 enemies, we parted ways and I entered another battle in the bowels of Mirodia because I am a hunter after all, a hunter with a
huge hog.
This time, our team has to collect 4,000 blood droplets by killing nearby enemies, or members of the opposing team. This was yet another easy victory, no contest. After the blood drive, I went back to where the outsider was hanging around earlier in my adventure, only to find that the window of the outsider's abode was broken into, and ghoulish creatures were there awaiting a hog-style defeat. This race is Evil Baby Park. 6 laps inside a small library that was over almost as soon as it started. I checked the yellow pages to find out where Nicholas was hiding, and after locating him at Mirodia College, he runs away. In the battle with Nicholas, he uses his wits to try and outsmart me, which I'm afraid to say worked quite well. You see, you're supposed to race around the library and trap Nicholas into a locked room so you can attack him. The first time, it didn't take long for me to figure that out, but the second time, I was running around like a bozo who didn't go to college because I didn't. I was so confused that I accidentally went to a segment of the boss battle that I wasn't supposed to access yet. In the middle of my foolishness, I did find a random moon shard, which is cool, I guess, but it didn't help the situation at hand. After 10 minutes of these shenanigans, I finally figured out that you have to go to this room with the hole in it, which will put you directly behind Nicholas after he runs into one of these warp spots. And then you can begin the second phase. When Nicholas hits a third of his health, we move over to the area that I accidentally entered early, where he continues to give chase and rambles on about some silly riddles. I fell off the map and Nicholas ended up escaping, but the game was gracious enough to give me a checkpoint into the third phase, so I could catch up and hunt down this nerd. But when Nicholas was vanquished, it didn't progress the story, and it was then I found out that the random moon shard I collected was actually one of 3 that's needed to move forward after defeating him, and his geekish ramblings in the third phase were all clues as to where the moon shards are hidden. Instead of answering his riddles 3, I googled where to find him, and no, I'm not ashamed of that. The remaining 2 were at the battle with Greg and in the eyeball arena. Both were easy to collect now that I knew what I was looking for, but poor Greg's AI was lost without his precious moon shard. Now with all 3 shards, I bested Nicholas again, this time without taking about as long as a frozen pizza bakes for. Doing this began the collapse of our nightmare, which brings us to our final race at Pocket Dream Course. Everything in this race was a dream, from the floating roads to the fanciful music that plays as you slaughter the competition or are on the receiving end of it. One last dreamy race so we can wake up from this wretched kart racing nightmare. After winning, Herman decides that we all need to kill each other until one of us is left, instead of answering our question of what the hell is even going on anymore. So me and everyone I've met, both good and bad, is thrusted into an arena for a grand battle finale. My hog and I fought long and hard, and in the end, we were victorious. The truth has been revealed. The city of Mirodia, the race, the nightmare, was all born from an ancient yearning to make contact with angels, cosmic beings beyond our understanding. Now, at the end of this terrible dream, on it offers, I want to live again. I want to live again. I don't like that music. She's evil. I should have known! So I made a fool of myself in the end and got the bad ending, all because I wanted to channel my inner George Bailey and live again. And you want to know the worst part? I saved over my progress thinking I could just freely go through the campaign again. Instead, I got New Game Plus and had to start from the very beginning. So I crashed out a little bit, but came back to put some respect on the hog's name. This time, I became evil George Bailey and didn't want to live again, which led me to the true final boss. So I grabbed the mystical sword and set off to defeat this wretched beast, and fell off the platform.
Oh.
Dying here causes me to lose insight, which was gained by completing each level, so my lives are limited, as is my knowledge stored in my peanut brain because I kept falling off the cliff and losing what little insight I had stored. I lost a good chunk, but eventually made it to the Mirror of No Return, where we battle Mirodia on our hog, while they drive baby's first John Deere. I attacked Mirodia with all my might, and when they reached half health, a ghoul came out of nowhere strapped and ready to go. If I wasn't riding the most trusty hog this side of the Mississippi, I surely would have been nightmare food. But I swiftly killed the ghoul and struck the final blow onto Mirodia, freeing me from this nightmare and proving that you can beat Nightmare Kart only using the hog. Thank you all so much for watching. While I can't say that the hog gave me much of a disadvantage outside of getting stuck a few times here and there, this game blew my expectations out of the water. Even though this challenge wasn't as hard as my usual videos, I hope you got some enjoyment out of watching me play Nightmare Kart. It's a crazy fun and unique experience. And to top it all off, it's free. You can find a link to the game in the description if you'd like to give it a try yourself, which I highly recommend. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Also, I stream all of my challenge runs live on my Twitch channel and here on YouTube. If you'd like to check that out, be sure to subscribe or follow me on Twitch. The link to my Twitch channel, along with links to my other social media accounts, can be found in the description. If there's a challenge run you'd like to see, you can also check out the description for a direct link where you can submit your ideas. Thanks again for watching, everyone. See you in the next video. Oh yeah, right. Happy Halloween.